cleaning out the old homestead. Nana can't afford the mortgage alone, but you can't go home. She might bust, she might cry, but when you see the gold dust fly, you know that you can't go home. I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Yeah, I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. It's been so long since you moved away. Sometimes I still think I see your face, you know, but you can't go home. Do the dishes and take out the trash. Oh, but when I miss you, it comes on fast, and you can't go home. I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Yeah, I got a call from Portland, and it made me think of you. Someday when I'm old and gray, your face it might fade away. You only live inside my memory. I'll be good, I won't cry. I'm still mad at you for leaving us, you know, but you can't go home. No, you can't go home. No, you can't go
The name of that song is titled Can't Go Home. It is from the album today titled Jewels by my special guest, Stephanie Ann Johnson. Stephanie, welcome to the Friday Afternoon Music Mix.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. I remember at the time that I first heard you, you were in a live performance that was done through a radio station in Asheville, North Carolina. And I was knocked over by your music. I got in touch with your manager. He in turn responded back and said, she's got a new album coming out here real quickly. This would be good timing for us to get Stephanie on the air. And I said, yeah, let's do that. So I'm just thrilled that you were available to join me here today. Let's talk a little bit about you. I know you're from Tacoma.
Yeah.
You've had one previous album to the new one, which is called Take This Love from 2019. That was recorded with the High Dogs.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this process of your recording. I know that on this particular album, you use someone that I'm familiar with, and that's Jeff Fielder as your producer. It was recorded at Oliver Blue Studios in Seattle. Tell me a little bit about this.
In previous recordings, I've really enjoyed this idea of recording everybody live because as an audience member, I didn't like the sensation of going to a show and hearing a band that can't really play what they can play on a record. So for a while, it was definitely like that was the vibe that I was going for. With this record, with Jeff as a producer, I didn't stick as close to that line as I like to. But also, you try new things, and sometimes somebody has a different recording process that is also nuanced and well thought out and really well done. And I feel like Jeff did that. Like one of the first things I said to him as we were listening through is I said, wow, you really made me sound like myself. Uh, then we both talked about how weird it is that that's a thing, that sometimes people make records and they don't sound like themselves. I'm just really grateful that Jeff really managed to elevate my sound, help me sound more grown up and polished, but also he kept the portion of my wildness that I really enjoy. So yeah, it was a very fun process and it continues to be a good time. So that's nice.
Were the studio musicians that you used this time, Stephanie, were they people that you knew and had used in the past, or are these people that Jeff arranged to come in for your music?
So Jeff arranged for a lot of this. And honestly, Jeff is kind of he can do so many things. So on this record, he's playing guitar, keys, and bass. And the only extra person we paid to come in and work on it is a guy named Will Mapp, who plays drums. First, I met Will through Jeff, but then I started to see Will around town at some of the other like church musician gigs that I sometimes get. So yeah, it was very cool to be like, oh, I know you. Yeah, Will is a very cool guy, very accomplished musician. And I had a real blast hanging out with him and doing some work.
Jeff did an excellent job, Stephanie. This production on this, as well as the additional music, is just absolutely excellent. My first introduction to you was with a blues song that just bowled me over. You're a great blues and gospel singer, but I don't like to pigeonhole you into genres because you can be all over the place, which is great. Americana, even country. I think he's taken your music to the point of a new level, which I think is just wonderful.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, and I feel very humbled because Jeff works with really amazing artists. He's worked with some of those folks from Heart, some of those folks from the Indigo Girls, Amy Ray Band. He was just opening for Tedeschi Trucks Band for a week of shows. The fact that, that guy comes home off a tour and still takes my phone calls is really, I feel very special to be on that short list of people that get called about his time, That's fantastic.
He's also married to an accomplished musician in his own right, which is Tekla Waterfield.
I had some years ago. Her and I met through the Rain City Rock Camp for Girls because we were both volunteering. Her and I were paired together to do a presentation for these young artists about stage presentation. How do you stand on stage? Like, what is it to inhabit this space? So that was one of my first encounters with her. Her and I aren't close. I really enjoy her energy. She's a very cool gal. There's a Seattle show and a Portland show coming up. She's going to be singing backing vocal, so she'll be able to be present. It's a very exciting time, I'll tell you.
It certainly is. I also wanted to bring up something else to you that I dearly loved about this new album, in addition to the music, the album cover. It's fantastic. And I saw that Cora Jane Murray and Krishar Williams were the ones who designed that. Tell me how you went about this, because it captures your essence. It really does. And I mean, you have such a beautiful smile when you perform on stage. Tell me a little bit about that.
So one of the things that I've been doing for myself really is about healing and working with my mental health. There's a saying, give me my flowers while I'm still here. Don't wait till I die to give me my flowers. And that's kind of what I wanted to do for myself. So I commissioned Cara Jane to paint this painting for me. And I told her I wanted to, be also like the Tom Petty song, like Among the Wildflowers,
Right.
And so she made this incredible painting and then took a picture of it and then sent it to me. I still need to take it and get it framed so that I can hang it in my house. I have the perfect spot for it. When it came in the mail, then we got Krishar to take photos of it. We did it outside at my manager Mackenzie's house. I'm holding one edge and he's holding the other. We're out of frames. You can't see us. That was a blast of a day. We also had a wonderful graphic designer come in and do some of the arranging of the images for us so that front and back cover, it's a lot of color. There's a lot of saturation. I feel like that speaks about me as a performer and as a person. So I thought it was really wonderful to use this art. During the pandemic, Cara Jane and I started talking a little more because she has 5 children. At the time she was a stay-at-home mom. And so she said to her followers on the Facebook, I'm going to be painting pairs of Vans. I need you to buy these shoes because I have to feed these babies. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So I bought 2 pairs of shoes from her. I just got compliments on those shoes every time I went anywhere. People were like, what are those shoes? Did you paint them yourself? So that is what gave me the idea to ask her to commission some art for me. I really love commissioning artists because I love to pay my friends money to do that stuff they love. I think it's important to keep my money in the art world. I have to pay for art from other artists. So yeah, it's a very cool thing.
It's fantastic. It really is. My special guest today is singer-songwriter, guitar player Stephanie Ann Johnson. She has a new album released today titled Jewels. I so appreciate you sending me an advance copy of it. I have loved this album, and I have your first one and some singles, but this really takes the cake. Let's play a second song from it, and this is one that released in advance of the album. It's called The Day That You Begin.
Shake with fear. Now I know I'm not alone because now you are here. Yeah, oh, I finally found a place to be. Yeah, I
another terrific song. I played this on my show on the 24th of March and got some good comments back. Let's talk a little bit too. You've got some gigs coming up here that we want to talk about. Saturday, April the 8th is Open Space for Art and Community on Vashon Island. Saturday, April the 15th at Kilworth Memorial Chapel in Tacoma. Friday, April the 28th at the Triple Door, in Seattle. Great locale. Saturday, April the 29th at the Alberta Ross Theater in Portland. Website for Stephanie Ann is stephanieannjohnsonmusic.com. Her Facebook is facebook.com/musicsa. Instagram.com/Stephanie Ann Johnson. TikTok, that's Stephanie Ann Johnson. Have you had success on TikTok?
Okay. So full disclosure, the TikTok was my manager's idea. Bless him. So he is in charge of taking clips and putting them up there. I'm not much of a TikToker. I do enjoy Instagram. There's been many a night of me scrolling through. I'm also at this point, I'm really having a moment with YouTube. There's so much information. There's so many free lectures. So I'm really enjoying going through a couple select creators, getting that immersive feeling. Thank you for mentioning those shows that are coming up. The show on Vashon on the 8th and the show in Tacoma on the 15th. Those will be duo shows with me and Jeff Fielder. I think we sound really well together. I recently sent him a list of covers that were interesting to me, so we can also put a handful of those in the show as well, which is great. And then the shows on the 28th and 29th will be full band experiences at the Triple Door, like you mentioned. And then in Portland at the Alberta Rose Theater, I was recently there taping a show for NPR called Live Wire. Man, that is a big room. I've been on that stage before, so it was kind of nice to go back. I love to play a venue where there's a great green room, where there's a space for an artist to go and not touch humans and take a couple deep breaths before they got to get out on stage.
Speaking of NPR, have you submitted anything yet for the Tiny Desk concerts?
The reason that I can't do that is because one of my pandemic jobs that I picked up is with radio station KNKX, formerly KPLU. It's 88.5 on the dial here in Tacoma. My show is on Saturdays. It's called The Groove Yard. It runs from 1 to 4 p.m. So it's been a really interesting learning curve to learn how to talk to two different computers and a whole board also while I record my shows. And then there's a little live on the air moment as well. KNKX is an NPR station. So being that it's an NPR affiliate,
right.
I can't participate in Tiny Desk. But if that kind of content is interesting to you, check me out on YouTube. There's years of me, years of me trying to get the attention of those folks at Tiny Desk. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy your search.
I have been on your YouTube site and it's fantastic. Some of the music that you put on there is not what's on these albums, and it's great. I want to point out my special guest today is Stephanie Ann Johnson. Her new album released today is titled Jewels. It was produced by Jeff Fielder in Seattle. We played one song from it on first part of March, and then they were kind enough to give me the whole album this week. So that was great. I had a chance to listen to it. It's just out of this world. I really enjoy it a lot. Let's point out that your YouTube channel, your website at stephanieannjohnsonmusic.com, facebook.com/musicsa, instagram.com, Stephanie Ann Johnson, of course, on TikTok. Let's do another song from the album. This is one that I like a lot, my favorite. This is called Leave the Light On. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me here today. I wish you all the best, and I'll look forward to the day when we get to meet in person. That'll be fun.
Yes, it will.
Here we go with Leave the Light On.
You ain't got to do hard work for me. precious jewels. He is loved and he is owned. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, that they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. He will gather all the jewels for his kingdom, all those pure ones, all those bright ones. He is loved and he is owned. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. So let's be children, little children, who love their Redeemer. We're those pure ones, we're those bright ones. He's loved and he's owned. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown. Like the stars of the morning, his bright crown adorning, they shall shine in their beauty, bright gems for his crown.